Well, hey crafty friends, it's Hiedi Scott with DIY Dreaming, and on this video tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can turn this Dollar Tree cross wreath form that was $1.25 into something beautiful like this or this. I made these, gosh, 4 or more years ago, and I cannot find the video, so I thought, well, let's just do it again. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be using some Dollar Tree rope. I'm going to tell you all about that. And I'm going to be using canvas stack, lots of hot glue, and then after I am finished with this part of it, we'll do something pretty in the center. And I want to tell you about how I did the backing on these. Anyways, it should be really good. I think you're going to totally love it. I think you are going to want to run out to your local Dollar Tree or, you know, some type of a craft store to get the supplies to make this. So, okay, so first thing that we need to do is we need to get some strips of canvas. And what I want you to notice is that on this one, I used my favorite canvas duck cloth, which is sort of an oatmealish, creamish color. Just to do something a little different, I decided today that we would use this canvas duck that is more white. And we're going to use the same rope, although I do want to point something out that I think is important. I don't know if you've ever noticed, but Dollar Tree has 2 different diameters of this nautical rope. There's one that is bigger and one that is smaller. The smaller one is also longer. So whatever you select, just make sure that you choose all of the same size. Okay, so this canvas duck here came from a fabric store. I've had it in my box of fabric for a long time. I don't know where I got it. But basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little snip into one end that's just a little bit, maybe, it's like 1.5 inches wide roughly. And I'm going to tear it. Okay, and I've torn up a bunch already that we'll be using, but then I'm going to clean it up a little bit. You can cut this also if you want, and you could do this project with a different fabric of your choice. But I like to tear my fabric, and I love canvas duck. Okay, so I just took all the extra strings off. I'm not going to iron it or anything because it really doesn't need that. Push my stuff out of the way here. Okay, so this is the wreath form from Dollar Tree. Let's take the little ticket off. And what I want to do is wrap the whole thing. I'm not worrying about it being messy. I want the front to look pretty neat. But when I'm all finished, I will cover the back. So it doesn't have to be perfect. All right, and let's just start at the top on the back. We're going to be using lots of hot glue. And there's a very high chance that you will get this on your fingers. So definitely, I recommend that you use a low temperature hot glue. And I'm just starting at the back, and I'm going to start wrapping it. Whoops. Okay, so I've gone around the very top, and now I'm going to start pulling it. Let's see, where am I? Pulling it and just wrapping it around and around and around like this. And gluing every so often. I'll do most of my gluing on the back. So let me just get this wrapped and put a little bit of glue on it. I do not know exactly how much fabric you would need, but my guess is you probably need at least half a yard at least. Okay, and I'm just wrapping it pretty tight. When I get to this part right here, I am just going to do my best to kind of go around it. It's all going to be covered up, so see, I just did a little fold right there so that I can come back up. Tuck that in there. I know this part is not exciting. So just bear with me and I'll get this part done quickly. Let's wrap the other direction. Okay, so I have that center part covered now, and just gonna start wrapping and going down. Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, depending on what time of the day you're watching. I have had these two crosses in my craft room for as long as I made them. This creamy one has been behind me on my little shelf, and frequently people ask me about it, and I keep thinking I'm gonna just go ahead and dig up my original video tutorial, and then either I forget or I can't find it. So finally I just decided, let's do it live again. And I am wrapping this pretty tightly. You might need some more strips, I don't know. This does not have to be perfectly spaced because the rope is really going to cover all that up. We're just covering up the wire on the wreath form. Okay, and one thing I learned when I did this project originally was that it's good to just leave your ends open, because we're going to braid this rope and then kind of cram it in there, and then I'll cover it all up after the fact. So let me do the sides of this cross. I do think this project would be easier to do if you were sitting down. It's a little awkward to be wrapping it and standing up. And really all I'm trying to do is just get all of the wire covered up. Come back and fix up the back later. Okay. let me tell you this. This is, Linda, this is canvas duck fabric from a fabric store. This is a white. Typically, I use a ton of canvas duck that's more of this oatmeal cream color. On this one, I just used the brown burlap ribbon from Dollar Tree, the wired ribbon, and that worked great for that one too. But this is white, okay? And let me just put a few little blobs in here or there to get everything down nice and good. All right, so the ends are open. Okay, then the next part is the tricky part. And it's the part where we're going to braid our ribbon. I think on both of these, I did 3 pieces of ribbon. Not ribbon, I'm sorry, rope. I'm not going to cut the tape off of the ends of this at this point because I don't want it to all unravel. This over here. So what do you guys think about this project? If I end up using just my wreath form and 3 things of rope, that is $5 to make this cross, plus your little bit of fabric. So it's a super affordable project, and I think it would be a wonderful gift for, gosh, just about anyone in your life. And you could do it, you don't have to do it exactly cream. You could use a patterned or a different color or burlap. I mean, there's lots of things that you can do. Okay, so I'm just trying to get the ends and everything kind of straight. I need some zip ties. Do I have any? Here we go. These zip ties also came. Let's see. Can muslin be used? Sure, I think so. This rope is just the Dollar Tree. I'm going to toss it. This is what it says. Nope, that's a cross. Let's see. 6.8 feet, 13 mm, which must be probably the diameter. Okay, I'm going to start down here at one end and I'm going to zip tie my 3 pieces together. That will make it easier for me to keep it under control. And I will be tucking this in to one end and then to the other end. Okay, so then the next thing I'm going to do is going to be hard for me to show you, but what I did when I was doing this originally is I just took some of these huge clips from Dollar Tree and I clipped my rope to the edge of my table. So let me see if I can do that so it will hold still. Or I can also do this. This worked too. This is a little clipboard. Can put my rope under there, and this will make it easier for me to braid. So let's start that. You don't have to braid it super tight unless you want to. Yeah, these crosses work out to be around $5 for the supplies, which you can't beat that, I don't think. Okay, I'm just gonna keep going till I think I have it long enough to go up and down. And then we'll do another zip tie. Let's see. Let's make just a little bit longer. The brown rope is a smaller diameter, and it took more than just 3 packages of it, if I remember right. Okay, let's see. Oh yeah, that's plenty long. I am going to do another zip tie right up about here. I'll put one below it. And I don't think I have tape handy in here, but if I did, I would tape the ends on this other side as well. I am going to, for now, just use another zip tie below my little area here to get my braid started, again, to go across. Okay, so this is what I have, and I can fiddle with it to get it to lay nice and flat. It's gonna basically go on here. I'm gonna cut these off. Okay, this should be enough to do the horizontal. Okay, so next thing is to start gluing it on. And I'm going to do that before I attempt to tuck the tail underneath. I'm going to be very generous with my glue. So many of you have asked me about these crosses, and I was not able to put my fingers on my original video, and so I thought, well, what the heck, we'll just do it again, and instead of doing it in cream or the brown rope, I will use white canvas duck with the cream rope, and I think it will be lovely. It is a quite glue intensive craft. Gail, are you in Ontario, Oregon, or Ontario, Canada? She says she's from cold Ontario, but I don't know which one. So see, look, this is where we're going. Super easy, super, super, super easy. And next time you're at Dollar Tree, I always try to remember to grab some more rope. Get some of these doodads. These are handy and they come in different sizes. Those are super handy. Grab some zip ties and the wreath form. And that's basically all you need for this project. Plus the canvas stuck, of course. Or the brown wired ribbon from Dollar Tree if you want to do a brown one. This would make such a nice hostess gift. Especially if you are going to someone's house for dinner or a holiday, and they're believers, they're Christ followers, they would love this project. And it stands up, it can stand up propped against a wall, or you can hang it. Okay. So I have this center one pretty much glued on, and now I'm going to do the hard thing of pulling it over and pushing it underneath my wrapped canvas duck. Just thinking I might have to, I think I'm going to have to cut my zip tie to get this one to go in. Okay, and then I'm going to tuck them in there one at a time. Maybe the lesson here, hey Melanie, is that when you're starting that wrapping on the ends, don't wrap it super tight. That might have been helpful. But I haven't done this project in so long that I forgot. I wrapped it as tight as I possibly could get it. There we go. Okay. So see, it's just tucked in to the top. Now, let me think about this. I am going to need to see if I have tape. If I don't have tape, oh, I always have blue tape, but if I don't have tape, then I might need to zip tie each one of these little pieces down here at the bottom. I think I'm going to. 3. Because I don't want them to unravel, which is what they're trying to do already. Would be helpful to have a little bit smaller of a zip tie. These are very big. Whoops. What are my options here? Let's just use a little bit of tape because that zip tie is very awkward. This is what I would have done if I had remembered that I was going to need tape. And I would be using clear, just some clear tape, but this is going to be fine. It's going to be tucked in so no one will see it, but I don't want it to all unravel. What did I wrap the cross in? It's canvas duck, Carol. It's from most fabric stores and Walmart carry fabric duck. It's just a really thick canvas, and I do a ton of crafting with it. I'll show you something in just a second that we just did a few days ago that I think turned out adorable. This kind of rope definitely wants to unravel itself. Let's cut this off. So it's called canvas duck cloth. It's just a really thick canvas, and generally I will buy the thickest, stiffest that I can get. I don't want anything really thin. And I love to use it to make stuffies. So if I had planned better, I would have wrapped those in clear tape. These are some things that I made just a few days ago using canvas duck. They are little sachets that have a little heart on them, and they're in a heart shape, that are filled with lavender and white rice. Aren't those cute? So that's just one example of some of the stuff I like to do. Okay, so I'm going to now poke these in. When I'm cleaning up the back, I will get those tucked in a little better, and I will cover up with some of this leftover canvas that I will rip probably a little bit thicker to go over that. So let's do the next part, and let's start at the end where it has the pieces already wrapped. And I'm just going to use this little, did I wrap the wood individually? I wrapped each one of these. Now this is how it comes with both ends of it wrapped so that it doesn't unravel. And I'm just going to start braiding. When I was in my 20s, I had longer hair, and I used to love to French braid my hair, and I could do all kinds of different things with it. So this is a pretty simple braid. Hang on just 1 second. It doesn't have to be super tight. I will dig up my videos because I think I may make another flat burlap flower, smaller than this, for the center of this one. And if I can't find a good video, I'll just do it again. Okay, this has got to be plenty long. Let's put one up down here also. Okay, so this will end up getting tucked in to one of the side pieces here. And yes, I have way plenty. So it's just basically going to go on like this. Let's just start gluing. Next time I do this project, I will remember not to wrap the ends of this cross super tight, because that makes it harder to tuck the ends in if you do that. This is why you need a low temperature hot gluing device for this project. This is a wreath form under here. It's, I can't show it to you, but at the beginning of the video I did. It's just a metal wire wreath form from Dollar Tree that was $1.25. Nothing fancy about it. And so that's what this project started with. You could do this over a piece of wood also. Thank you, Sherry. She says it's not wood, it's a wire frame. Yeah. And you know what? When I'm done with this video, you can rewatch it here on Facebook, or you could hop over to my YouTube channel, which honestly is sometimes easier to find what you're looking for, and watch it on YouTube. On YouTube, I have all of my videos organized, dated and labeled with photos that show what's in it. So say you wanted to watch a project that I did a year ago, or 2 years ago, or 3 years ago, or 4, or 5 years ago, and you know that it was something that I made with vintage buttons, for example, then you could just go to the playlist that is for vintage buttons, and you would find it there. Okay, so I had plenty left. So let's, let me think. I am going to wrap the ends of some of these with some more tape. Yeah, just to answer questions, the wreath form and this rope and these zip ties are all from Dollar Tree. So there is nothing expensive here. But I think it's beautiful when it's all finished, I think. Okay, there's one. This is definitely easier. I would use clear tape if I had planned, if I had remembered that I would need it, rather than this yellow painter's tape. But it's going to all be tucked underneath, so you won't see that anyways. And this is just going to keep my rope from unraveling. So let me get through this part, and then we will talk about how to finish up the back, and I will look for a video on these pulled string burlap flowers that are flat, and I may make another video, because what I have here Something like this would just be way too big for the center of this project. Cram that in there best I can. See, that's what it looks like. Whoops. Not too bad, but I'll fiddle with it a little bit off camera to get it as flat as like this one is up here at the top. Okay, and let's do this last one. Cut my zip tie off. And let's do the same thing. These are long. They were already taped at the ends because this was one end of the piece of rope. So we didn't have to tape those. Okay. So this was my original from multiple years ago, and this is the one that we just did. The difference between these two is that this is the oatmeal, the creamy colored canvas duck fabric, and this was some white, which, where did I throw it? I need some more. Let me show you real quick how I'm going to clean up the back of it. So let's pull all these strings off. This is a little bit wider. It's probably more like 2 inches wide. So it can cover up all the mess on the back. Which, if I was just making this for my house, I wouldn't be too worried about the back of it. But if I'm going to give it away, I want it to look nice and neat. You know what I mean? So, let's see. I'm just going to show you on this top, the up and down piece, what we're going to do. I'm going to basically hem this with some glue, and I could have opted even to iron it if I had wanted, but okay. And then I'm just going to start gluing this on to cover up all the mess back here. I really don't want it to be visible from the front, or at least not too much. Okay, so can you see what I'm doing? Basically, I'm just covering it up. You can't see it from the front, but it just makes, and then I'll glue all of these little ends here in really good. But it makes it look not so messy. Linda says it's beautiful. Are the flower things at Dollar Tree also? No. Let me just show you that in just a second. The burlap ribbon that I used to create these pulled string burlap flowers is this. It is 5.5 inches wide. It looks like this. And I get mine at Walmart in the craft section buy all the floral stuff. So that's where I get mine, and they have lots of different colors. I think when I did my original video, I did not show how to cover the back because I kind of figured that out after the fact. But anyways, I wanted to make sure I showed you this part too. Can you see what I have done there? And I'll fiddle around with the braids to get the spacing all nice and neat. But what do you guys think? I mean, $5 is what I have into this. $1.25 for the wreath form from Dollar Tree. 3 packages of this nautical rope. It looks like this. Floral green nautical rope. I used some zip ties, some hot glue, and then the canvas deck. And that's all I have in it so far. I will, of course, doll this up. Can you believe it? With probably one of the pulled string burlap flowers, and then most likely some vintage mother of pearl buttons or something like that. Okay, so I basically just hemmed it at the bottom by gluing it on itself. And I will come back and wrestle with all my millions of glue strings, and I will finish this, and then maybe I'll come back later with a video where we do the centerpiece, the pulled string burlap flower. Would anyone like to do that? Oh, Brandy, I'm so sorry. I never sell my crafts. What I do here, what my goal is to show you how easy they are to make yourself and to give you the supply list so you can do it. Because you could whip out, you've seen how quickly this has come together. You could go get a bunch of supplies and whip out a whole bunch of these in an hour or two to give as gifts. And then you have the pleasure of like, oh, I made it. And look how beautiful it is. And I did it. So that's really more what I do here on DIY Dreaming. I don't generally sell any of my crafts. I do give them away frequently, but these are too big to mail. So I will be giving probably this away to either my daughter-in-law and my son, or possibly to our in-laws for Easter. The queen of cream and the beauty of buttons is what Melanie says. Oh, thank you. Yes, I am the queen of cream. I love cream. And I love buttons too. So anyways, I hope that this inspired you to give it a try. And I hope that you saw how seriously easy it was to assemble. And if you have a Dollar Tree in your area, go grab the rope, grab the cross wreath form, look in your stash of fabric to see what you could wrap it with. It could be with a ribbon too, and give it a try. Alrighty, have a blessed and wonderful rest of your day. Thank you so much for joining me. Do a this or a this. It's a heart. If you liked this, sprinkle, sprinkle.